Hi, it's Anthony from CarPlay2Life.com, and today we're checking out the updated CarPlay2Air wireless Apple CarPlay adapter for factory CarPlay systems and aftermarket receivers. So keep watching for my review. So the original CarPlay2Air wireless Apple CarPlay dongle was the first wireless CarPlay adapter I reviewed just over a year and a half ago, and it still manages to sell well today. Over the last few weeks, CarPlay2Air has reached out to me to tell me about their new updated wireless adapter that has been released recently. So let's jump in and see what's new. First things first is that the box has changed and the branding is a lot more pronounced on this new box, and the original white box was just quite generic. Inside the box, things are much more unchanged. The dongle sits proudly in the recessed packaging, along with a small paper manual that oddly shows the AutoKit red UI in its imagery, whereas this dongle still came with the older green UI. Looking at the dongle itself, it's pretty much identical to the original, with the almost obvious exception that it's a lot more shinier in its case design, which has replaced the rough texture look on the original dongle. Personally, I find the shinier plastic cheapens the look of the dongle to me. The permanently attached USB cable is still here on this dongle, whereas other wireless dongle brands have chosen to remove it and supply a separate USB-C cable. This means if you have a modern vehicle with a USB-C CarPlay input port, you will have to use an additional converter with this dongle, which sadly they don't offer to supply. The cable length is the same, yet the thickness is slightly thinner on the newer dongle. The newer case design is slightly less rounded on the corners, and on top of the case it has a smaller logo, and there is an etched model number in the bottom corner of the dongle. So that's the physical comparisons of the dongle over with. Let's now jump in the car and see how this dongle compares against the original. Right, so we're in the car and we've got the CarPlay2Air. We're going to plug it in our console CarPlay port down below here, the USB-A port, and then we're going to fire it up. So we're going to start the car now, and we're going to do from a cold start. So this is going to take the longest, and we've not even paired it with the iPhone yet either. So this is not a good test just yet, but we'll be seeing how well this dongle gets connected. So there's no lights on it currently at the moment. There's a red light now. Now that it's found the system. So we've got very similar, or if not the same, interface here. It's the green style. It's not the red style that I've seen recently. And we're going to pair with the dongle. So we're going to connect to Bluetooth. We're going to click on search here and let the dongle look out for us. It's found our iPhone 12, and it's probably going to skip that. Yep. So we want Bluetooth. Yep. We want to pair. Now we're paired. It's going to ask us, do we want to use CarPlay? Yes, we do. And then it's going to connect, do the handshake. The little symbol up here will go to Wi-Fi in a minute, and we're in. So that connection part was quite quick. So that's the dongle now booted. I'm running iOS 15 at the moment. So we're going to turn this off. We're going to keep the dongle connected to the CarPlay port, and now I'm going to start up again. All right, so that's the first run, but let's just try again. So 15 seconds into the system. 30 seconds, it's found my phone and connected. And then it's going to be 38, 39 seconds into actual CarPlay. So that's basically mirrors my current CarPlay2Air dongle, the old one. We'll also go to the settings and go into the actual menu and see this is the latest version. And again, it's still the March version on this dongle. They haven't been updating it since. But let's go into settings. So again, it's default as 1000, which I've had better experiences at roughly about 450. So I'm going to do that. The automatic background mode and GPS is still there in this version. DVD as well. So I am going to leave that there. And let's just play some music.
Well, here we are back in the hot, muggy streets of New York.
So about 1 to 2 seconds. So this is always quite good with this particular dongle. It's not that laggy. That's at 450 delay, which works for me and my system. I don't really get any skipping and things like that. When I get to about 400, it starts to get stuttery, but I've always found 450 seems to work for me. So that's that. Navigation should be exactly as it was with the other dongle, so I'm not going to test that. I will test connecting my iPhone to a lightning cable. Usually this crashes the dongle, so I'm going to plug the end in first into the dongle. Yeah, and it crashes it. So they're very sensitive when they're connected. I'm going to keep it connected, and I'm going to connect my iPhone to it. It won't use wired CarPlay. It will still use wireless. That's crashed it again. So we're back on wireless. It did do wired for a second there, but it crashed. So I don't know what that's about, but I don't think that's even supported. If I disconnect, see, it's still functioning as you would expect. If I try and connect again, this is crashed and we're still in wireless CarPlay, so that's not a thing. I'll just disconnect the cable now. So I'm going to plug in a USB-A end that's powering this wireless charger. I'm going to connect it in now. It hasn't crashed it yet. I don't think there is a light on this either, so I don't think it's going to power the phone. No, it's not charging it. It's not sending enough power to the charger either. So again, that's not what it's been advertised to do. This USB port is mainly for updating now and sending logs. Just to show you, I've got the old CarPlay2Air dongle here. It's got the same update software. So we'll start. And this will be a cold start for the original CarPlay2Air dongle, just to test out the general speed of it and see if it's any different. Right, so there's not really much in it really. Timings are pretty much similar. So that's the CarPlay2Air dongle. There's not much extra to write home about. It boots roughly about the same time. There's not much to bring back on really at the moment. It's still connected cable. It's not like the other dongles that allow you to disconnect the USB-C lead if you wanted to change it to a longer one, for example. And the software is the same as well. It still has the March update. So situation normal for the current updated CarPlay2Air dongle. Okay, so we're back in the studio after looking at the new CarPlay2Air adapter. We saw that unfortunately the boot menu is still the older, slower green UI, and after seeing the faster AutoKit red UI on the Ottocast wireless adapter in my previous video, I was hoping that after seeing it mentioned in the manual, they might have updated the new dongle with this new faster UI. But sadly, that's not the case. Maybe they will in the future firmware update. With the same interface as the original dongle, this just means that the boot up times were pretty much the same as the other green UI dongles that I've reviewed, which is a general shame. Your own boot time will vary though, based on your own system, but for me, I was getting around about 27 to 39 seconds on my Alpine CarPlay receiver. So on the surface, you would think that there isn't much difference between both versions of the dongle. However, one main difference and advantage of this dongle over any other dongle that I've reviewed was when I checked out the Wi-Fi signal rate of this dongle. Using a Wi-Fi network monitor app on my Mac, I was able to test all the wireless CarPlay dongles and Android AI boxes for their Wi-Fi standard, their maximum data speeds, and also their Wi-Fi signal quality. My findings showed that this CarPlay dongle from CarPlay2Air was the only wireless adapter to feature Wi-Fi 5, 802.11ac, with 2 antennas inside and a max data rate of 866.7 megabits per second. Its signal quality was around minus 63 dBm, which is the ideal range for Wi-Fi. It has the best signal performance out of all the wireless adapters I tested, with the older CarPlay2Air measuring a little lower at minus 69 dBm. In comparison with the MMB Plus and the Android AI boxes, they were also Wi-Fi 5 standard, but they all have only one antenna with a maximum data rate of half of the CarPlay2Air dongle at 433.3 megabits per second. So what does that mean exactly? Well, with this new internal hardware, this new dongle should offer an improved and more stable signal for wireless CarPlay between your iPhone and the dongle. With its double antennas, max data rate, and ideal signal quality rate, voice calling should be improved as well as general video and audio latency. But in practice, I really didn't see much notable differences in all the other dongles that I've reviewed. In general, audio latency still will never match the same speed as using CarPlay with a lightning cable. The CarPlay2Air wireless CarPlay adapter retails for $130 or £95 directly from CarPlay2Air themselves. And you can check out all my links below to learn more and to purchase one. It's a shame to see these newer dongles are still so sensitive to charging or powering devices from the USB-A port. The dongles that are good at doing that are the Android AI boxes from JoyAuto and Ottocast. But in general, the new Wi-Fi chip inside is worth buying this dongle for its improved latency in calling and music audio. And if I can flash this dongle with the AutoKit UI successfully, then on paper and in my experience, we may have a very good performing dongle on our hands. If you're interested in buying this dongle for your CarPlay supported stereo and you want to check out whether it's compatible, click on my link in the description below and scroll down the page to view their full compatibility list and see if your vehicle or aftermarket receiver is mentioned. If it isn't, you can reach out to their support team for clarification. All right, thanks for watching and I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any comments about this new wireless Apple CarPlay dongle from CarPlay2Air, please let me know in the comments down below and I'll do my best to answer them. You can check out all my other CarPlay dongle reviews in this playlist here. Hit the subscribe button down below to catch all my future content and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.